Hey, Rich.
Hey, Michael.
And welcome, everyone, to BitPunch Radio episode. Let me scroll up here 029. How you doing, Rich?
Great.
Great, good. We've got we've got a lot to talk about. So I think we are today going to be, like we normally do, talk about what we've been up to these past couple weeks, what we've been streaming, what we've been playing solo, reading, watching, consuming. We've got some news that we want to cover. If time permits, I think we're going to talk about the rest of the year. But some stuff has happened, so we'll see if we can fit everything in. But has your world been? How are things going? What have you been
Pretty
up
good.
to?
Pretty good. Still very busy at work. That just gets worse every day. That goes by.
It's a good problem to
So
have,
that's
I guess.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It is. It's just a little stressful. Um, haven't been playing a ton of new stuff, but last night I did. I had actually downloaded a game called Splitgate. A couple weeks ago. It's a free-to-play first-person shooter that when you go to their website, their content tag on their website, that shows up in the tab that they put in the HTML, literally says Halo meets Portal. So it is very much a heavily Halo-inspired first-person
And they
shooter.
don't shy away from that at all.
No, not at all.
Do they do many games do that where they're like, "Hey, we're like this other popular thing, but different." Like, how often do you see people say that?
I mean, it happens. I feel like I've heard people talk about, like, especially with like the Castlevania type games and
I guess
uh
Metroidvania is kind of a shtick
yeah,
to use,
yeah, but
but
that's kind of been done a lot. This is pretty blatant though. I mean, they, like they have the weapons that are called like the battle rifle, the uh the carbine, the assault rifle. They have obviously pistols and assault rifles. Those aren't like unique to Halo, but like in the context that they're referring to them as is very much Halo.
hmm,
Um, but the sort of shtick to this game and the thing that kind of makes it different is you can shoot portals. So if you ever played Valve's little indie hit called Portal or Portal 2, where you shoot, a purple portal and like an orange portal, and then you can run, or I think they were blue and orange, and you can
sure.
like run through them, right? And there's all these little puzzles you would do in that game, like momentum and things like that, had an effect on it. In this game, you can literally just shoot those. You just shoot them with your hand, like your dude just throws his hand out, and you shoot. Like, I think the left bumper is the one portal, and the right bumper is the other, is the exit. Enter or exit. And the cool thing about that is you can only shoot it on certain surfaces, sort of like.
Mm,
Um, so in the multiplayer maps, there's this like surface that's got like this hatching to it that's telling you like, hey, you can put a portal here. So like I could put a portal like clear on the other side of the map, and then right next to the wall where I'm standing and look through it and shoot through it and like see enemies through it. Um, Enemies can see my portal, but they can't see through it. They can shoot through it. So it's and so that just that one little dynamic adds a lot to those matches, those multiplayer matches. So it's it's pretty cool. And then the shooting, the maneuverability, you have a jetpack,
hmm.
so you can kind of, but it's not real like demonstrative. Like you're not just like flying all over the place. It's kind of limited in how much you can use it. Um, it's pretty good. The shooting feels really good. Um, the weapons feel really good. I would say it's a little aggressive on its kind of hitboxes. Like I was playing too well, honestly. I think
Hmm.
I had multiple games where I had like over 20 kills and less than 5 deaths, and
Whoa.
like that's not.
You're a pro.
I don't think I'm bad, but I'm definitely
Are
not
you
like
signing
that
up?
good.
Like, are you
Now,
about to start your own esports league now?
yeah. And
Yeah,
obviously I was just playing it, so I was low rank. But
sure.
like I could just tell, like I was hitting shots that I like wouldn't hit in Halo.
Have you seen
Um,
the trick that people do with their monitors where they'll put like a piece of tape, like 2 pieces of tape, and then they just try to get the character in between that tape, and then they pull the trigger, and it's like it works.
That's a weird thing. But that game's a lot of fun. It's like I said, it's very much Halo with portals.
So you text me because we were supposed to record last night, and you're like, "Hey, I need to play some games. I need to take a break, whatever."
Yeah.
You were going back and forth though, and you were like, "Okay, I'm thinking of playing Apex, or I might check out the Splitgate." We got pretty into Apex. You see yourself getting into this game?
This game, yeah, no, I want to play more of it for sure.
Oh, okay,
And
good.
I love Apex. I just played Apex last week and won a match. And Apex is like the battle royale is just a different beast. Like when you win one of those games, like it is like euphoria. Like you're just screaming and jumping around and taking screenshots of your phone and or your TV and stuff. Yeah, man, I won. There's this game's obviously just more of a standard game, but it's a lot of fun. I'm having it's different enough. It like feels like Halo, which I like more than Call of Duty. And like all the maps are new, the weapons are a little different, and then the portals add like this different thing to it. Like part of Halo is being able to like evade people, right? Because you have a shield. Like you can get shot at in Halo and run away and like,
Right.
just get away. Like you're not doing that in Call of Duty for the most part.
No.
You get shot at, you're dead. But like in Halo, you can like there's a lot of things you can do to like get away. And in this, like the portals are a very good like evasive thing. Like if I was getting shot at, like I just start shooting portals everywhere and just run through it and pop out and just take off and just shoot another. You know what I mean? And then like the other cool thing is when you shoot your portals and you go through them, you can close them so people can't follow you. Which is kind of a cool little trick. But yeah,
You felt like you were getting
fun.
the hang of that? Because that sounds like a total mind fuck, honestly.
Yeah, I honestly it felt really natural. I think just because I played Portal, both those games, like immediately I was already thinking about like, oh, if I put this portal on the floor and then put the other portal like way up high on that wall and I jump through it, like I'm gonna have momentum, like it's gonna fly me across the map, and I can like use my jetpack and like you can see where like if I see enemies on the other side of the map, I can just you shoot those portals like all the way across the map. There's not like a limit, so you can just pop over to the other.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
yeah. It's been or just shoot through it because you can see through it, but they can't. So it's a pretty cool little game.
So if I shot something on the floor and on the wall, and you were standing in front of the wall, I could shoot at the floor and start pegging you with bullets.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So the other thing, kind of not related to Splitgate, is now that I have this little fancy little gaming computer, I downloaded the NVIDIA. Is it the GeForce experience?
Yeah.
What's that thing called?
Yeah,
The
you're
little
right.
overlay, right?
Yeah.
And so last night I was messing around with that, and it has like this instant replay thing that you can like click on. And so I clicked it on, and
It's your TikTok maker.
yeah. So and I really wasn't thinking about it too much, and I was playing the game, and like in the first match, I got like a killing spree, like I killed 5 people, and like without dying. And then all of a sudden, like this little NVIDIA notification pops up, and it's like multi-kill. And so like it knew that I killed enough people that like I might want to see that, and it recorded that clip. And like this, I was falling down off this ledge in another one, and I was playing like a sniper's game, and I sniped this, like I no scoped this dude, just totally owned him, and it popped up and it's like headshot, and it recorded it. So it's somehow scanning the game and like figuring out that like I'm doing something
Wow.
cool and like going and recording it. I had no idea that was a thing. I figured it was just like, oh, I did something cool. Let me hit a button or like hit a.
It's got its own
shortcut or
system,
something.
or
But no,
yeah.
it's like it's actually doing it on its own, which was that's actually the first thing that I thought of. I was like, hey man, I could probably go. I had a couple like 4 or 5 like really nice things. Like I should put them together into a TikTok. That would be some good content.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love
Yeah.
that content.
Got everything's content. Everything is content.
So Splitgate.
Splitgate. Also, have you noticed? And this is maybe a little insider deal here. When we launch OBS, which is what we use to record video and audio for all the gameplay, and you pick like which window you want to record as far as gameplay, and sometimes the executables for games are like weird.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
The executable for Splitgate is portalwars.exe.
Oh my gosh!
So
Yes.
I'm wondering, like, if at some point, like, they wanted to call it Portal Wars, which is a great name.
That is
That's
a great name. Huh.
I'm sure that's copyrighted.
Portal Wars. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Someone at Valve just like, okay, Portal, and then every word that could be imaginable after Portal, just go copyright.
It's like scrolling through the App Store and you just see like Rogue Wars and Rogue whatever.
Yeah. I'm sure they had a similar staff meeting to you and I trying to figure out what to name a website.
Yeah.
Go to hover.com, start typing URLs until you find the one that isn't taken.
It's like, okay, can we make that one? Sure. Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Buy it before somebody else takes it.
So that gets pretty fun. I want to play more of that.
You gonna keep streaming it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool.
It's free to play, so you should download it. We could play together.
Where'd you get it from? Steam?
I'm on Steam. It is crossplay across everything though. I think it's on everything except for Switch and Stadia.
Huh. Okay. Oh, Stadia's missing out.
Yep. Imagine that.
All right. What else are you up to?
Oh, let's see here. As far as games go, just more Outer Worlds. We played a little more Fallout 76. I do want to talk about Outer Worlds for a minute. So I'm still really liking that game.
Good.
The last probably 2.5 episodes I've been on this one planet, and I've been kind of doing these quests for these two factions that are kind of fighting and like not on good terms. And during one of these quests I had, and you might have been watching the stream when this happened to me, I had an optional like side objective to like save these two people for one of these factions. It was optional. And I went to do it, and my NPC buddies killed these two people. Like they just aggroed them, and I couldn't save them. And I was pissed off, and so I re-rolled the save, tried to do it again. Again, it didn't work. Like I could not save them. I tried multiple times. And so I'm like, whatever. And I got back and ended that quest, and they're like, oh man, that's a bummer. You couldn't save those people, but whatevs. I'm like, all right, whatever, it is optional,
Yeah.
So I get to the very end of this probably 3.5 hour quest, okay? And I'm trying to essentially convince these two clans to do what I want, right? And so I go to that faction that I had that optional quest for, and I need them to agree to do something, okay? And I go to them, and I'm like, hey, we really just need to do this. This will be great. Like, I need you to do this thing. And they're like, you know what? We would do that, but we don't trust you because you didn't save those two people. And I'm like, what?
Huh.
Are you kidding me? And so I had no other option. So then I went and sided with the other faction and literally murdered that entire other faction because of an optional side quest that I attempted to try to do but could not do. It was such this little thing that affected that whole 3.5 hour deal that was optional. It wasn't even like a main part of the thing. Like I was flabbergasted. Like I was like, this is insane. I was like, whatever, they all gotta die. This is the way this works.
Right. Yep.
If things don't work out, murder.
I like getting on a stream with you because I think it forces you to, and I'm sure you do this when I'm not with you, but you're just like, fuck, how can I like mess with this algorithm a little bit,
Yeah.
Like you walked up that one I was watching or that I was a part of, you walked up to the guy that was at the computer and he had all those people around him and you just straight shanked the guy and killed all the people around him. Just like, well, okay, there we go. It's cool that it lets you do that. I hope the sequel like improves on that a lot. I felt like that game was pretty linear, so I hope that they they open it up more.
Yeah, it is linear, but the outcomes are really, really varied.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel like, at least, like, even when I went back to the other faction, I was able to convince them to do something based on a piece of text I found in a terminal that I didn't even have to go to, which was there's just a lot of little stuff in that game that they refer back to, like little bitty things that the characters will refer back to. A lot, a lot of work went into that part of that game. But still enjoying it. I'm definitely going to keep playing it though.
Good.
Try to finish it up. We played Spelunky 2.
That was awesome.
On stream, co-op Spelunky 2. You've never played Spelunky.
Nope.
I had not played Spelunky 2, but played a lot of Spelunky 1. Spelunky 2 is very much more Spelunky.
Did you ever finish the first game?
No. No. I don't know how many like worlds there are.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say 4 or 6. I cannot remember. And I don't know how many are in Spelunky 2.
We made it to the second world, the end of the second world, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Which, as you play, it gets a little bit easier because you can pay off Mama Tunnel to get you some shortcuts. And you start getting more money and messing around with all the different items and stuff with the shopkeeper. And
my big problem was just the controls. The controls were so like strict. There's no floatiness to it at all. So it's like you release that D-pad and you just hit a wall and drop. And it was just I don't know, it was just kind of a little hard to get used to that.
Yeah, it has a very strict set of rules that those controls operate in. Like the whip. Like the whip action has a very specific distance that it can hit.
Very
small.
Yeah.
And you have to be very good on the timing. And the jumping and the sprinting and all that stuff is very specific. But it's just one of those games that just like breeds chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially with 2 people. I really like that game. That's a fun little game.
Yep. We got to play more of that.
Yeah. It's super fun. It's super fun. That's it for games, though. I did finish the Time of Contempt. Is that the 4th book? The 4th Witcher book. Finished that. I'm now starting Baptism of Fire, or By Fire. I can't remember which one it is, by or of. That's the next book.
That sounds like a death metal album. It really does.
I mean, it's from Poland.
I know, right?
Yeah. That's the next book. It's getting a little more. It's really getting into the weeds. With
like
all
in
the
a good
characters. Yes and no. I feel like this is probably a point when people stop reading this series, because it's introducing more people.
Sure.
And kind of like Game of Thrones, like I feel like Game of Thrones kind of works its way into the weeds a little bit, even with the TV show.
Right.
There's just so much going on and so much story to tell, but I'm still enjoying it. That's really it for books. I've kind of contemplated stopping on The Witcher and reading Dune.
You started Dune, right?
I downloaded it and like barely started it.
Okay.
We read that Dune comic, which is like the first third of the first book story. And I liked that. I think I would like the book, so I'm leaning towards reading it. It's a long book, though.
The movie is only like a section of the book, too. It's not even the full book.
Correct. There's going to be two parts.
Okay.
Of the Dune movie. So this one is essentially halfway, I guess.
Oh.
But I've been trying to stay away from the reviews, but it seems like it's been pretty favorable.
You know, I have thoughts about this whole like HBO Max, and all the movies that have been released have been middling. So I'm hoping Dune is good. Like all the movies that I've seen, I haven't seen every one of them, so maybe I'm missing like a diamond in the rough. But for the most part, all of those movies have just been like okay. Mortal Kombat was okay. Godzilla was okay. The Suicide Squad, it's okay. I just don't know. There hasn't been anything yet that is like, man, that's like a must see. Like you really need to watch that movie.
Right.
I don't know. I'm hoping
Yeah.
Dune is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a good cast. I mean,
Yeah.
Timothée Chalamet, I think it's how you pronounce his name. He's a really good actor. It's got Jason Momoa, Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaacson.
There.
Who else? I mean, Zendaya. Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the director? Dennis or Denis? I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. If it's Dennis or Denis. Villeneuve or Villeneuve or something like that.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't recognize any of these movies that he's done.
Name them.
Enemy. Prisoners.
Oh, Prisoners?
Yeah,
Oh,
2013.
you never watched Prisoners?
I don't.
Oh, dude, you need to watch Prisoners.
Oh, is that? I know that guy.
It's Hugh Jackman.
And Jake. Well, the box art shows Jake Gyllenhaal
And Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And who's the other guy?
Hugh
Can't
Jackman.
remember his name. Yeah, you should watch that.
Paul Dano's in it.
That's a good movie. Don't watch it with your kids though.
Okay.
That's that movie is rough. Like you've never seen, like, especially if you have kids, which you do, that movie is rough. I watched that movie. Let's see, when did it come out? 2013.
Yep.
Maybe I didn't have my kids at that time. Yeah, that's a rough movie. You should watch it though. It's a really good movie.
Prisoners.
Good Hugh Jackman, for sure. In like a different role too.
And that's another the HBO Max movie that just came out with Hugh Jackman. It's like that time travel movie, like Reminiscence or something like that. Like the reviews of that were middling too. So it's just like nothing really stands out yet.
Okay. That's really all I've got. So on to you.
Okay. Well, we're talking about movies. We'll talk about that for a little bit. I did go see Shang-Chi.
You went to a moving picture theater?
I did, with the recliners. And yes, the family and I went. There was maybe 15 people in the theater.
Now, is that doing the Disney Plus thing also?
It does not come out to Disney Plus until October, I don't think.
Okay.
So that is the latest in the Marvel movies. There are 2 other ones that are coming out this year. It was a good movie. Good origin story. Know nothing about Shang-Chi. But it was good. It was like a typical Marvel movie, though. I don't think it's doing anything.
Is he like a Chinese Yakuza?
No. I think more of like Crouching Tiger.
Okay.
If you've ever seen those movies. Like those movies are like, well, that movie is gorgeous with like its vibrant colors and just like how they fight. And that's kind of how Shang-Chi is shot. There'd be like a lot of muted colors, and then there'd be like a red tree that would just kind of like pop out and just make things look like really nice. That movie's really good. My wife cried like multiple times during it just because just the story that it was telling, and it's setting up where they're going with their story. So I don't want to get into spoilers at all, but they're setting up, well, I don't want to get into it. There was a report of Avengers 5 is being like in pre-production right now. And I can see how the ending of this is starting to set that up. So, if you, hey, if you're a fan of Marvel, you're going to watch it. If you're trying to keep up with it all, you're going to watch it. So
Yeah.
I don't need to sit here and be like, if you haven't liked any Marvel movie up to this point, this one's going to blow you away. It's not, it's definitely not doing anything like that. It's just a really good one of those. So
Okay.
you're walking into that theater and you know what you're signing up for. Still watching Castlevania. It's really freaking good. I'm hoping to be done before we record again, episode 30, and see where I go from there. I don't know what show I want to pick up next, but probably another anime.
Did you watch the Witcher anime?
No, I have not watched that yet. That has been at least added to my need to watch, but maybe I'll watch that. And like, there's a couple movies, so I've been like, I have like a treadmill over that direction.
Yep.
So I've been like just watching something. So maybe I'll knock that out. There's a couple other things I want to watch before I move on to another show. But okay, I'm going to just name off a bunch of stuff here on my gaming list. So I've been playing Final Fantasy 3, 4, 13, and 14. Hades, Spelunky 2, Fallout 76, Yakuza 3. Do you have any questions about any of these?
Why in God's name, in the year of our Lord 2021, are you playing Final Fantasy 13?
Because it hit Game Pass. And I just wanted to... that's a game I never finished. I don't see me finishing it. I just installed it and I wanted to tinker with it a little bit. That's really it. I might play it for a couple hours and then I'll uninstall it.
I mean, at this point, you're on 4, right?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just play through them all?
I could.
And then what we'll do is we'll get like 5 hard drives. We will combine all of them into a single video. Like, what's the max video sub? Like, could you upload like a 4-day long video to YouTube?
I'm sure there's a max. They actually have an upload limit on the amount of hours. So I don't think you could upload like 24-hour videos in a 24-hour period. There is some limit there. Not that I've
find a video service that will let us upload a continuous playthrough of
that would be
Final
kind of cool.
Fantasy from beginning to end.
Yeah, like yes. Could I play through them all? I think 11 might be a little challenging to play through.
You got it now. The MMOs, we can skip those. Screw that.
But I'm playing 14 right now.
Yeah,
I'm not streaming it though.
That'd be hard to go back to 11. You'd have to like join a cult and
that's true. Yeah,
learn a password and a handshake.
Take my heart out,
like,
hand it off to the demons.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd accomplish that.
So I finished 3, started 4 this morning. We're recording this on the 9th, so it's Thursday night. The story of the first 3 games were on a Nintendo, and then there really wasn't much story. It was like the Warriors of Light, get the crystals, kill the bad guy. Final Fantasy IV comes out, and you were asking... So we streamed the ending of 3 together. And you were like, okay, this is like a kid's game. What is it that's you like about these? And it's like, okay, well, it's the grind of it. I like the familiarity. I like the retroness of it. But then 4 comes out. So 4 has an actual story around it. And it might be trite or whatever, but you are a Dark Knight. You are doing the king's bidding. He sends you to this town to kill everyone, and you do. But you are conflicted with these decisions. So you decide
so you're Anakin.
So you decide to rebel against the king, and your buddy Kane, who is a dragoon, also joins your side. You all flee the castle, but you still have to do like one more thing for the king. The king gives you this ring, and when you enter this town, it unleashes all these bombs, and you destroy yet another town. This is like the first hour of the game. So then you're just like, what the fuck? Like, so you're playing a character named Cecil, and just like all this stuff starts happening. So then you're like, okay, like now we're getting into some story beats of an actual game. Like it's this. If you looked at 4 and you looked at 3, 2, and 1, they would all look the same. So they've adapted that pixel remaster art style throughout all of them.
Right.
But it's the meat and potatoes. It's the story that it's telling. It's making this one more unique than those first 3. So if you're a story guy and you like those mechanics, you're definitely going to like this last batch of games that they're coming out with, more than those first 3. But
Okay.
yeah, it's telling a really cool story. And there's like wizards and spoiler alert, but you try to strip yourself of the Dark Knight, so you become a white paladin. And then you get these cure spells, and I don't know. It's cool. I will be streaming that throughout the week in the mornings, and then once I'm done with that, I'll pick up on Yakuza 4. I'm sure by the time I'm done with Yakuza 4, Final Fantasy 5 will come out. I'll just flip-flop back and forth between Yakuza and Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
I'm just dabbling with 13. Like I said, I don't know if I'll stick around with it. I think 13 has a cool story, but I'm literally just auto-battling through the game right now. And I think you could do that about 80 to 85% of that game. So, I don't know. I do want to mention in 14, I hit level 20. That's a big deal. I think at some point, if I can figure it out, because this game is vast and there's so much to it, I think I can get mounts now. I know World of Warcraft was level 20. I don't know if Final Fantasy is the same. But I only wanted to bring this up because I did my first raid.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it was instance, and it needed to have 2 healers, 2 mages. I'm probably butchering this, and like a tank. And I was the tank, so I'm playing a marauder. And there was 5 of us like going through this stuff, and it's like I've just never played a game like this before. So it's like you've got a list of objectives you need to hit. You need to like go take out this boss, grab his stuff, it'll unlock this room, and then there's treasures, and you can like greedily take all the treasure if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of pass on it. And then like if you see other people start running off, it's just like, well, maybe I'll grab this stuff real quick, and then whatever. But they obviously didn't want it. So but that's the first time I've done like a raid like that, and it was cool. I was like, I see that was fun. I want to play more of it. But it's taken a long time to get there. I've probably got maybe 10 plus hours into it, but they're saying like another 50 before I hit that first piece of DLC, which is where the story actually takes off. So about 60 hours of game. Now, I will say I had fun with that raid, but I don't know if there's still going to be enough fun that'll carry me through. I did drop off around this point last time.
Yeah.
But since I picked a different starting character, it started me in another section of the world. So I'm in Limsa something, I can't remember the name. But when I was my other character, a Dragoon type character, I started off in this place called Gridania or something like that. Well, now I'm back there. So now I'm kind of in familiar territory, and you're kind of hopping around these starter zones, and they just kind of branches out from there. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Hades, man. Hades, that's a damn good game. I'm kind of getting back into that. I'm playing like a run a day, just like on a little break from work or something,
What are you playing it on?
Game Pass.
PC or okay?
PC.
Yeah.
Dude, my Xbox, like I could show you, there's stuff stacked in front of my TV right now because I have a new desk. I haven't turned my Xbox on how long. I'm just strictly computer now. So
yeah.
But yeah, Hades, really good game. I do still struggle with it a little bit. It's hard, very challenging. Sometimes there's some cheap hits where characters are off the screen attacking you.
Yeah.
Again, it's just something, it's on Game Pass. So I was like, click a button, I can play Hades. That's pretty cool. I don't have to pay any money. So that's why I'm playing Final Fantasy 13. So I'm playing Hades. It's why we started Fallout 76. Turns out we're having a really good time with that. The
Yep.
perk of this month with Game Pass is actually Fallout First. You get a month of it for free. So we could activate private servers if we wanted to.
Ah, okay.
And then we get like a bunch of loot. So it might be worth, if we plan on playing that like Sunday, it might be worth activating that and like getting some stuff.
Okay.
But I like how we're playing that game. So we're kind of doing the same missions at the same time. I think
Right.
I've got to, I got to catch up a little bit before we play again. But, and then I finished Yakuza 3. Thank goodness. Done with that game. Put a bow on it. If you want to watch it, it's on our YouTube channel. So that has been it. I'm still reading Oathbringer. I have The Wheel of Time on reserve at the library.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you're gonna start Wheel of Time, or you're gonna try to do Sword of Truth,
I'm gonna start Wheel of Time only because
the series?
yeah, I want to read the book before we watch it. So I think what I'll do is I'll read the first book, and then I want to read the Sword of Truth, and so then I'll like make up my mind like, okay, between these two, what do I want to continue down? Do I want to read these 14 books, or do I want to read this whatever Sword of Truth is?
Yeah.
How many books is the Sword of Truth?
Way too many. As many as the Wheel of Time, I would say, because I know that series has a lot.
There's 14 of the Wheel of Time.
Okay, let me look it up. Fact checking kills podcast.
So there's this database shows 17 rows, so I'm assuming there's 17 books.
So right now, technically, the Sword of Truth is 11 books.
Oh, okay.
But then they pick up with those same characters, and there's a total of 22 books in this universe that is directly built off of Sword of Truth. I have read. Oh boy, I think I've read 15 of them. Yeah, 15 or 14 of them.
And
I have
you
a lot
love
of books to read. Oh man, that first book is one of my favorite books.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, and there's the first. It's a normal book series. Like the first book is really good. The second and third books are kind of okay. By then you're already invested.
Sure.
And
They
the
got
fourth book, really good. The sixth book kind of sucks. The seventh book is really, really, really good. The eighth and ninth books are kind of meh. 10, 11, 12 are all pretty good. Like it kind of goes,
Right.
it goes up and down. It has its peaks and valleys for sure.
Yeah, like reading Brandon Sanderson right now, Oathbringer is very much strategy. Like shit's happening. The first and second book was just like a sprint. And then this book is just very much like, okay, we gotta discuss this shit. And it's very heavy on like just a lot of strategy, battle strategies, planning. The fourth book is called The Rhythm of War. So I'm sure that like shit hits the fan. But so the cool thing with this series, let me get into this for a minute. The cool thing with the Stormlight Archive is the first chapter of every book is the same scene, but then you see it from the eyes of a different character. So I'm going to spoil, I guess, the first chapter of the first book. It's about the king getting murdered. And there is like a wizard, like a white wizard, or the assassin in white is what they call this person that kills the king. Well, there's a lot of people in the room when it happens. And so like you see this one perspective. Well, then you pick up the second book and you're like, oh, well, this is the same chapter, but it's just from this other perspective. And so that's what they're doing. But then each book gives backstories on like main characters. So the book I'm reading right now, one of the main characters' name is Dalinar, and it's a lot of backstory on him. He's just like this killer. He's like well, I don't want to say what he is now because it's changed from the beginning of the book, so it'd be a spoiler. But there's a lot of like backstory on him in this book. I'm struggling with it. It's still really good. I'm invested. I want to finish the series as much as I can. But I'm not reaching for my Kindle as much as I wish.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I really want you to read Sword of Truth, the Wizard's First Rule, which is the first book. Because I love that series, especially those first, several books. And I like those characters a lot. And I don't know anybody else that's actually read it, other than the person that introduced them to me.
well, the
And
Wheel of Time. Go ahead.
knowing how many books you've read and different like genres you've read, I'd be interested to hear like your honest opinion of it because
Okay.
I like it. It probably trends a little more dumbed down than something like Brandon Sanderson because his are pretty, like you're talking about, pretty intricate. This is probably a little more easier to read, I would say.
I don't shy away from that. I'm not looking for
Yeah.
like hard shit. And
Right.
honestly,
Yeah.
I even think like Brandon Sanderson, even though he's weaving a lot of like decisions and whatever, he's also very, what's the word, like young adult about,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because
This has some of that, but then it has some more Game of Thrones darker stuff also.
okay.
So it kind of goes back and forth. I'd say, but I definitely I want you to read it.
Okay. Let me read the first Wheel of Time, and then I'll pick up the Sword of Truth, and then we'll go from there. I think I had a goal to read like 20 books. I think I've already hit it this year with the comics that we've read and stuff. So, that's it for me. It talks about some news. Some news,
Yeah,
news.
why is there a Game Boy on my screen? What is going on with
So
Game Boy?
I don't know if this is like really worth bringing up, but Game Boy games are coming to the Nintendo Switch. At least that's what the rumor is. Game Boy Advance, possibly.
Oh, Game Boy Advance. Now you're getting somewhere.
Curious what games you would like to see come to the. So
Boy.
I have Nintendo Switch Online,
Yeah.
and I like retro games. I mean, I play a lot of retro games on our Twitch channel, but I also never play my Switch. I never load up the NES or the SNES stuff that they have on there. I don't know. I mean, I think it's exciting to see Game Boy games come, but I'm also like, I don't know if I would ever really honestly grab my Switch and play Super Mario World 4, which is a Wario game.
Yeah, I think this would be better for your kids
Yeah.
because there's some really good little games that they wouldn't be exposed to otherwise. Like I've got a list here to remind myself. Like Metroid Fusion was a fun Game Boy
Dude,
Advance game.
are my
Or like
kids going to go back and play Metroid Fusion?
or like any of them. Like there was other Metroid games on there too.
Yeah. I mean, the Game Boy Advance has some fantastic Castlevania games.
Zero Mission. I remember really liking Metroid Zero Mission.
Yeah.
Minish Cap. I mean,
I hear that Mario tennis game is fantastic on there.
yes,
Or no,
yes.
was it tennis or was it golf?
Tennis. I love the tennis game.
I think it was Mario
Yeah,
Golf. I'm thinking it has like an actual story to it.
the tennis game does too.
Oh, maybe it is
Yeah,
tennis then.
it's like an RPG. Like
Yes, yeah.
legit RPG.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like that could be fun for your kids, depending on like what games they're gonna do.
Just give me like, I don't know, give me Pokemon Yellow. Give me
Yeah, like that's what first came to mind. But like all those games are the same.
that's true.
They're the same game over and over again with new
They're the
Pokemon.
same, but I'll probably buy Brilliant Diamond when it comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we played Let's Go Pikachu. We played that as a family.
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
four of us sat down and like, we're in a cave. Like, why can't we get past this point? And my wife's like looking stuff up. Like we were all super into it. So
What's your favorite Game Boy?
SP.
Man, yeah, it's SP for me too.
Yeah. So I had an SP in high school, and any chance that I was in like a study hall, or I was like in our shop class, I was like a student helper, but he never needed help. So I blew through Golden Sun
Yeah.
in shop class. And it was like a 75-minute class, and I was just like, do you really not care he's like, I don't really need anything.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So I just played Game Boy. But
Oh man, yeah. I remember I never had the original Game Boy.
oh, I did.
A cousin had one, and it wasn't that great.
No.
I remember thinking it was kind of
Shit.
kind of
Honestly.
shit.
Yeah.
But the Game Boy Advance, my brother and I both had Game Boy Advance.
Did you have the purple one, the bigger one at first?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. We had the worm lights. Remember the lights that you stuck in the back so you could see the fucking screen? We had there was some other sort of contraption that you would put it in.
The magnifier? Oh wait,
the
no,
magnif-
I'm thinking of the original Game Boy. I'm sure the Game Boy
there was-
Advance had one too, but
Yeah, there was some other kind of thing that you put it in, but man, we played a lot of the Game Boy Advance. But SP was
the Pokemon pinball game included Rumble.
yeah,
I think it was
Yeah.
Pokemon. Yeah, something like that. But
yeah, but the SP that was a perfect little device, little clamshell deal. I mean, the DS is obviously great, but
yeah,
the SP is just a classic.
Yeah.
That thing was amazing.
the only thing that bothered me about the SP was the backlight was awesome to have, but it like shot out from the bottom and it washed
Yeah.
out like all the colors on the bottom of the screen. So like it was
Right.
great like looking at the top, but like the bottom, everything was just kind of washed out a little bit. I mean, that was super nitpicky,
Yeah,
but for the most part, the SP is just a great little device. I'd love to have one.
I'd agree.
but-
I'd agree.
And like I would say like Zelda Link's Awakening, but I just played that. I played that on the
that's-
Switch.
A lot of
so-
those games a lot of those really good games have been re-released
Yeah.
already. So
Right.
huh. Interesting.
So let's skip this Sony story.
Okay.
So Apple is starting to cave on their own store policy. So if you like watch the news or keep up with gaming news, you know that Apple and Epic are in this like big lawsuit on Apple owning the monopoly of being the only payment system that is allowed in the App Store, right?
Well, it's weird because
Yes,
apps like Amazon, like the Amazon app,
exactly.
you can buy anything but digital goods. So I can buy a $8,000 TV on Amazon with my iPhone on the app and have it shipped to my house, but I cannot buy a $5 Kindle book.
Right.
I have to go to the website and buy it,
Mm-hmm.
which is ridiculous. Like they should just, but yes,
Right.
go on.
So this whole thing started, in case you don't know, Fortnite did an update and they were like, hey, you can buy V-Bucks. And for 800 V-Bucks, it's $10. Or if you go through our little store over here, we'll give you 200 V-Bucks for free. I'm butchering it, but that's kind of what happened.
Essentially, yes.
And Apple was just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
We won our 30%. So we're just going to yank Fortnite out of the store.
Right.
And then I think I still have Fortnite on my iPad and it still works, I think. I haven't played it in a while, but I'm pretty sure the last time I even like does this still load? It still loads. And I also think that you can find iPads that have Fortnite on it on eBay for like thousands
Mm-hmm.
and thousands of dollars because people are dumb and they think they have to have that. But so fast forward to today, a lot of people seem to be on Epic's side of this. They don't think that Apple should only allow their payment system to go through that.
Yeah, I
And
think I think the bigger thing that came out of this is I think a lot of people didn't understand that Apple took that much of a cut. And you've seen a lot of other companies like Epic come out and say, "Hey, we're not this whole 30% thing, like that's too much. Like it's counterintuitive to getting stuff on the platform. We're going to cut it down to like 11." Microsoft's done stuff similar. Other sort of software as a service companies have done the same thing. They've
yeah,
lowered their fee or like uh, lowered the tiering of their fee because Apple has tiering also. I don't remember what those
I think
tiers
if you
are,
make
but
him
they're
like $5 million or
they're
something,
ridiculous.
yeah.
They're literally ridiculous. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, Apple, that's the kind of money that they're playing with now. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, we'll give you a cut if you make us $5 million. Like, how daunting is that? But so they're starting to cave on their own policies. Let me pull this story up. So I'm looking at USA Today. Why'd I copy USA Today's in here? Um, so let me scroll through here. Oh my gosh, the ads are terrible.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, we're not gonna like see a savings on our end. It's just they're going to start slowly letting more people kind of utilize what Epic is fighting for. So I don't think Fortnite is like going to show back up anytime soon. But things are like skewing in that direction in their favor.
Hmm.
So
Right.
and there's podcasts that you can listen to where they like completely dissect this apart. But it seems like it's working out. So that's pretty cool. So everyone like has been upset with Sony with this upgrade plan. So it's really hard and it's still hard to buy a new console. So basically, what these console makers are doing is like, hey, you can buy it for PS4, Xbox One, and then possibly for free or like very minimal amount of money, you can upgrade it and get the PS5 version.
Right.
Well, Horizon, a game that's supposed to have came out this year, has been pushed to February, and their upgrade plan is no longer available. They're now telling people we're not going to honor that system moving forward. They have said so for this game specifically in the past that they will do that, but now they're going back and saying, no, we're no longer going to do that. Now, I'm of two minds here. First off, they said it, and now they went back on it, but I actually think that they are going to honor it. I think that there was some news articles today that was
Yeah.
like,
Just
okay, we are actually going to allow that.
yeah. This story hit like a little less than a week ago, and as large companies do,
Yeah,
they announce these things, and then 24 to 48 hours later, start walking them back.
right.
Um, once the backlash hits, um, I, I think a lot of people made fun of Microsoft for their what do they call what they have a term for this? What is it called?
Oh,
Um,
damn it. Um,
um,
it's a good one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember it.
Yeah. So Microsoft came out right when they announced the Series X and announced this program where if you buy a Xbox One version of a game, you will smart delivery. Smart
Yeah,
delivery is what it's called.
there you go.
Um, you will get like so if I would have bought Cyberpunk for Xbox One, um, if I bought it for Xbox One, bought a Series X, great. They're just gonna upgrade me to the Series X version of the game. No problems. Like you bought the game, you get it on both platforms. No problems at all. And obviously Game Pass is
Sure.
doesn't have that problem. Games you're gonna actually buy, um, most of the newer games that are even exclusive to Microsoft or otherwise, they have smart delivery included. And this is a little thing they're putting on the box. They're talking up about it, and everybody I think kind of made fun of them. Oh, this is a stupid marketing thing. But now everybody's like, you know what? That was actually a pretty good idea.
Right.
It's like get out in front of it, be like, here's how this is gonna work. There's no gray area. Like it's either on smart delivery or it isn't. And you've seen other companies like EA with like their NBA and FIFA games have stepped in this mud too. I just don't see like who thought this was a good idea, because so essentially what they announced was like, hey, we're not doing this upgrade plan anymore.
Right.
If you're gonna buy it on PS4, you have to buy the $80 version or the $200 version or the $260 version, which is like an Uber collector's edition of this game. So you have to pay at least $80, get the PS4 version, and then get the upgrade to the PS5.
Yeah.
You can't just buy the $59.99 PS4 version. If you buy that version, you would have to pay a whole nother $69.99 because they're charging $70 for the PS5 version.
Right.
You have to pay that all again, which is ridiculous. Like it never used to be this way, really, but with Microsoft and other companies doing it, this just seems out of place now. And I just don't understand like why they thought this was a good idea. It almost makes me wonder, like, did they just do this as like a marketing, like just to see what would happen? Like I feel like they had to have known, like, oh, this isn't going to go over well. Like,
well, I think
people aren't going to like this.
I think they're just wanting to sever that connection now. They're like, okay, we want to start making $70 on games. We don't want people to buy the PS4 version and then upgrade to the PS5 version. I mean,
then they need to make more PS5s. Find a better way to get them to people. Tell
that to the chip manufacturers, and so I don't have to stare at these 5,000 F-150s that are in the field, a mile down the road. Chip shortages are crazy. So
yeah.
I see like the business end of it. I see it. They're like, okay, we want to stop upgrading. We want to stop offering this upgrade.
I don't see it at all. I think it's. I think the time, and this is, I see this in my daily life, in my daily job, in the job I do as a professional. The days of sort of putting the company first over the customer, which is going to happen, okay? Those days are like coming to an end, right? This is such an anti-customer move,
right?
That it's not going to fly. Like these kinds of things aren't going to fly. And so, like in the industry I work in is a service industry. Like we are providing a service to people, and if I come to your house and you order internet, I come to your house, and we come to your house to hook it up, and you're like, oh great, you're gonna hook up the internet. And you're like, oh no man, like you've got to run a conduit out to the street. You got to do all that yourself. We ain't doing any of that. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do all this yourself on your own money, and we're gonna charge you like a $200 install fee, and all this stuff. Like that stuff doesn't fly anymore.
Right.
And that stuff still happens now. But what ends up happening is those people go, well, screw you. I'm going to go call the other company and they'll do it for free. Like they'll just take care of it. But yeah, this is such an anti-customer move, and just very, with the state of this industry right now is very like just a complete blind eye to like what is going on.
Right.
In the industry. It still completely baffles me that Sony has not just come up with a Game Pass alternative.
They have one.
They don't, though. They don't.
I mean, they do. Yes, they do. They have one. They just don't market it. It's PlayStation Now. They don't market it. They don't release all their new games, but they do have a service that has like 800 games on it that they sell. And you can subscribe to it, and it's like $15 or $10 a month or something.
Right, but like it's not Game Pass.
It's not Game Pass, but it is their answer to Game Pass. It's just not a good answer.
Yeah, it's That is bananas to me. How they have not
And
figured out how to do that.
let me make sure I'm clear on this. What I meant when I was saying that I understand from the business perspective of why Sony would not want to do this. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I understand, like working with like stakeholders and stuff. Like you see how they think. You know, they're like at the end of the day, they're just trying to make money.
It's numbers on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. Yes.
You do stuff on column B, so column F goes up.
But then you need that person that's like, oh, you're gonna piss off enough people.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna be upset, but I don't know.
But see, like, to me, I don't understand like why. Like, I understand the business side of it. Oh yeah, sure. Let's get them to buy a second copy. Like Nintendo does it all the time, and people don't care because people are crazy.
Well, I think people care, but they give them a pass. They're just like, oh, that's Nintendo, and it's like, how much longer? How much longer are we going to get away with that?
People are paying money for Skyward Sword,
dude.
Like,
Link's Awakening was a $60. Was it a $60 game? And that was a Game Boy game.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening. Oh my gosh, we have fact checked the shit out of this one. That came out in 2019. Link's Awakening.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's $59 if you go walk in a GameStop right now and buy it.
Those games never go on sale.
No.
Never.
No, that's 2 years old now.
Yeah. I mean, I think I tweeted. I think I sent you a message about this because it was just like comedy. It's like who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah.
Like, and why would you want to do that to people? Like, if I have a PS4 now, I'm gonna play Horizon. Odds are right. I'm gonna buy that game. If I can't get a PS5, I'm gonna buy that game on PS4. Why would I want to then buy a PS5 and then pay another $80 for the freaking, or $60-$70 for the game? Like if they come out and like, oh, you bought, Horizon and all these other games and they're PS5 compatible, we'll just let you play them all, and that eases the purchase of a $400 console. Or is it $500?
Well, what if
they're 4 and 5?
I mean, that's also kind of how it's been though, too, right? Like if I was on a PS2 and I bought Madden and then I get a PS3, I would have to buy Madden again if I wanted to play that same year Madden. So they just need to get with the times, essentially. Like there's things have changed since then.
That's carryover from the disc era. Like,
sure,
that disc ain't gonna work no more.
That's true.
Now it's like you're probably not even buying a disc. It's like you're just downloading the other version of the game that it's probably already downloading to begin with.
Right. I just need that texture pack, please.
Yeah. If you launch a idea and you walk it back in less than 48 hours, that was a bad idea.
Right.
More than likely.
I mean, Microsoft has done it multiple times. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think the last thing that I have on the news is that Sony had a little showcase today, and they announced some stuff. So I've got the Kotaku article up here, and I'm just going to scroll through and just start announcing some stuff. The first thing here at the top of their list, I don't know if this is in order of how it showed. Actually, it's not, but that's okay. They are redoing Knights of the Old Republic a la like they're redoing Dead Space.
Mm-hmm.
I have never played Knights of the Old Republic. I have hovered over that buy button I don't know how many times, and now I don't have to because I want to just play the remake.
Yeah.
So that'll be one that I get when that game comes out. It is a PlayStation 5 timed exclusive, so it will come out to other stuff at some point, but it's a timed exclusive.
Is it going to come out on PC the same time?
It's PlayStation 5.
This article says it's real and it'll be coming to PlayStation 5 and for PC as well. It doesn't say timing. That would make sense though that it would be timed.
Really? I'm not seeing that. But okay. All right. Well, I'm sure you're reading that. So, I did not watch the trailer for that. I came in a little late. So I did see that they revealed a Wolverine game, which is going to be based on how Spider-Man plays. I could see how that fighting style could
made by Insomniac.
Yeah, translate quite well to Wolverine. They did release a trailer for Spider-Man 2. There are 2 Spider-Men. There's Miles Morales and then the Peter Parker one. I have no idea if that is a co-op game. If it is, I'm vastly interested. I really liked the first Spider-Man, but I don't have a PS5 to play. I don't have a PS4 either, so I can't play Miles Morales. I hope to see those games one day hit something else, but I highly doubt it. So it looks like the main villain of that is going to be Venom. Venom's hot right now, so looks good. God of War has did you have anything to add to that?
I was gonna say I'm scrolling through this list of stuff here, that I'm assuming was from the showcase. Alan Wake Remastered. That was a Microsoft exclusive. I thought they owned Remedy. Maybe they don't anymore. That's a weird. That caught my eye, like as standing out because that was a Microsoft exclusive game.
Well, it is coming to. Oh, Epic Games is making it.
Maybe they bought Remedy or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's coming out to PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. The remake is. Grand Theft Auto 5. Heard of that game?
Really? 5?
Yeah. So that is getting up-resed again and coming to the PlayStation. Ghostwire Tokyo was there. Deathloop was there. Deathloop looked pretty interesting.
Yeah, that comes out next week. Or this week.
Oh.
I think it's the 14th.
Wow. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy. I will probably buy that game.
Really? I can't get over the weird looking people.
They do look weird, but I have a son and a daughter who loves Marvel. And if there's a single player game for us to play through,
co-op?
I don't know if it has co-op. I think you only play a Star-Lord. This would be a pass the controller around, just...
I figured this was like a la Marvel game.
Nope. No. Okay. It's not like the Avengers where somebody plays Drax, somebody plays Gamora. No, you are Star-Lord.
That's
it's
a
just
bummer.
They're just telling a single player. They must have just had an idea for a game, like to tell a story, and they have assets, so might as well stick them in a game. There was some other weird stuff there. Well, they did show GT7. Scrolling through here, anything else stick out? Forspoken is a Square Enix game. I missed that trailer. Rainbow Six Extraction. Uncharted is coming to PC.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest Uncharted fan. I hear the Lost Legacy, which is a shorter game, and it's
you're not a Nathan Drake guy?
No. I mean, I played through 1, 2, and 3. I mean, I did kind of enjoy those.
I like the story. The combat, kind of not great.
That and like, I don't care for climbing. And so
Man, you don't like climbing?
No.
Like Assassin's Creed?
I like new Assassin's Creed where there's not a lot of climbing.
Oh, man.
Like, I went back to play Syndicate. I went back to play Syndicate, and there was a lot of climbing, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Wait a minute. Have you played Assassin's Creed 2?
Yeah, I finished that game.
Brotherhood?
Finished Brotherhood.
Okay. We can continue this podcast.
Yeah, Brotherhood, fantastic game. That game was great.
Yeah.
That's the one where you can send like people out on missions and stuff where you're right.
Yep.
Okay.
Ezio Auditore.
I played I tried to play Syndicate, but I was just like, I'm just kind of over this formula. And then Odyssey was just daunting. It was just like, oh my God, this is too fucking much. So
yeah.
I hear I should go back and try out Origins, but
Origins is really good. I liked Origins.
Lost Legacy is like a tight 8-hour experience. I really like that about it. Uncharted 4 is 14 to 15 hours of the same shit over and over. And it's just like, I don't care. Like, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me anymore. Project Eve was there. The Tiny Tina's Wonderland was there. Going for that cell shaded look that Borderlands 3 had going for it. Outside of that, Rich, there wasn't a whole lot. I did watch the Nextlander. Kind of tuned into their stream. I was watching it through them. Watched some of the announcements that they were making after the fact, where they were just having developer talks and stuff. And
did you play the original Dead Space?
Yeah, I played 1 and 2. I don't think I played 3.
Yeah, I didn't play 3 either. That remake looks pretty crazy.
I know.
Looks really good. So I'm really excited about this KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, I never played KOTOR.
Oh man, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. And
should I go back and play the OG one?
No.
Okay.
No, play this one. This will be better.
Okay.
It'll look better. I played it, but I don't remember a lot of it. It's been long enough that I think I could play it again.
I'm cool with it being a timed exclusive. There was nothing from this conference today that I was like, it makes me want to go run and buy a PlayStation. I'm sad that I'm missing Spider-Man. I'm sad that I'm missing God of War. But Horizon is on PC. I'm sure, after a year, it'll come to PC. I'll be fine to play it then. But I'll have Starfield. I've got so much other games to play.
Every podcast you talk about Starfield. That game is at least, what did they say?
November of 2022.
At least a year away. Like, it's gonna get delayed. Like, that game is 2 years away.
I'm just keep prying.
You have it. I feel like every night you go to bed and you have this picture frame next to your nightstand, and it's just Todd Howard.
It's like the Wolverine picture.
Yeah. he's just Todd Howard holding a spaceship, and you're just like, yeah, Starfield, that's coming soon. It's like, no, man, there's 8,000 games between now and Starfield.
I know.
Starfield might as well not exist. It's hilarious.
Do we want to get into this, or are we ready to wrap it up? What do you want to do?
We can wrap it up.
Okay.
Unless you want to talk, we can talk about that stuff.
Let's save it for episode 30.
Okay.
Oh, geez, I just flashed. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
I flashed. I did it. It was
I need to click. Which button is it? I'm looking at all these. Oh, here we go. Boom. Thank you all so much for listening to episode 029. If you want to send us an email, you can send that to emails@bitpunch.tech. You can find our website at bitpunch.tech. You can follow us on Twitch and Twitter. Both can be found at BitPunch, twitch.tv/BitPunch and Twitter/BitPunch. BitPunch is on YouTube, which is where we archive most, if not all, of our stuff. You can find that at users/BitPunch. And lastly, we do a monthly newsletter, and that can be found at bitpunch.substack.com. All of these links can be found on our website, bitpunch.tech. We go back to the podcast scene here.
There it is.
There we go. I don't have my F key set up correctly, so I just got to click the buttons. But thank you all so much for listening. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
We will be back in a couple weeks. Follow us on Twitch. We're going to be playing Fallout, and I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy. We got Outer World, playing more Spelunky probably. Might start some Resident Evil 8. Here we go.
Ooh.
Have a good day. See you all. Bye.
Bye.